Hello. Before we start today's episode, if you would like a condensed version of what I'm talking about in this podcast, go ahead and subscribe to the Perfectionist Guide. You can read the entire thing in 3 minutes or less. To access this, go to courtneylovegavin.com/newsletter. Are you a bit of a perfectionist, type A, hyper performer? Then you know
what it is like when your perfectionism is a constant god-awful companion.
But it doesn't have to be. If you are ready to burn bright instead of burning out, to lead without losing yourself, and to enjoy the life you have worked so hard to create, then keep listening. I'm your host, America's leader on rewiring perfectionism, CLG, and this is Perfectionism Rewired, the podcast. Welcome to Perfectionism Rewired.
Today's episode is all about advocating for yourself. We're going to explore this through the lens of when you get support and it sucks. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful topic because it brings up so much. It's like a Biore pore strip. Remember those? You put on your nose and then you rip it off and it's like all this gunk and stuff comes up that's like, oh, I see. As perfectionists, when this happens, it's hard enough to like, okay, I delegated something or I'm trusting someone else to do this, even though secretly part of you was like, I just wish I could do everything. Like all the time I used to say, like, I wish I could just triple myself. If I just had like 3 of me doing everything, it would be awesome. But that is not sustainable. And none of us want to make ourselves slaves in this lifetime. I think specifically perfectionist type A's, perfectionistic people, all of you on the other side of your earbuds or however you are listening to Perfectionism Rewired, who are feeling like you have always been sort of excluded from self-improvement, like what's wrong with me because you don't fit. There's anxiety, maybe there's a little bit of depression, maybe there's some ADHD, but it's like nothing is like, oh yes, that's it. You feel misunderstood and you can feel excluded when your internal experience doesn't match your external experience and you're still doing phenomenally on the outside. I just want to let you know we are here together as athletes, as champions, as Olympians. The nuances that come up for us, I don't hear covered anywhere else. It's like they sort of gloss over the parts that are like actually the toughest parts for us. And it is such curvy and twisty thing that we tend to do with ourselves. This is your permission listening to this to just feel good. Like no worries, no stresses. There's no judgments, no pressures, and certainly no comparisons. Okay, so just might want to repeat that, might want to write that down. An unleveraged perfectionist will likely worry, stress, judge, pressure, and will do all these comparisons. So I'm just setting the bar saying none of that here, please. Okay, so I recently had an experience where I invested in support in my company, Perfectionist Solutions, and it sucked. I used to have a very, very difficult time with delegating, which came back to trust, like trusting other people. I had a lot of experiences before, both as an entrepreneur and in corporate, where I hired people and I was quote unquote too trusting. I don't like to be micromanaged. Managing people is just like coaching people. So obviously I was phenomenal at it and they fell very short in terms of like, we're not even like doing the bare minimum. And when that happened, you're like, if only I would have trained them better, or I wasn't clear enough, or I misjudged their capabilities, or I gave them too much, or you know what I mean? Like all this blamey type stuff. And then what does that do? It makes it even tougher for you to hire someone the next time or to get help from someone the next time. I'm just talking about hiring people, but like this can literally be with your partner and you want your partner to fold the clothes and put them away. And then they do it and it's all wrong and all the things are in the wrong places. And then you're frustrated. And then instead of productively communicate with your partner, maybe you get really upset and you're like, I told you to do this. How do you not know this? You know where this goes. You're lazy. Like I asked you to do one thing. You know, like not your best moment. Or maybe you just think that in your head, which either way, it's still poison. What you look for, you will find. And so you will use it to be like, see, I need to do everything around here. Like this place can't run without me. It's all on my shoulders. So either way, it hinders you when you're in that place. And that's where I was for most of my life. And so recently, when I hired someone in Perfectionist Solutions to support me with the stuff that takes me longer to do, it's more prosperous and it brings me more peace and presence if I can outsource that to someone else. And so I hired someone, and I believe in fair wages, and I hire people in America as an American. I usually hire people in California, and I hire humans too, not like robots. I also have learned I would rather get excellent support than I would rather not potty train a puppy, I think is the best way to put it. I just want someone that's like together. They got it. It's good. Whoa. Amazing, awesome. A big growth for me thing was I'm not going to do like the double checking. I'm not going to do any of those behaviors because my growth here is to be able to be caring about them. I am not carrying the dynamic. And to my shock, dismay, surprise, the person that I hired was not doing anything. And they had communicated to me otherwise. They were just collecting paychecks. A situation where it's like, okay, what's an empowered response to this? This is more for the client part of the business. I told them that things would be sent to them and they weren't sent. And then I'm getting ready to go with my family to travel for the holidays. We have, planned vacation and everything. And I'm like, I have work that needs to get done. Before I would maybe halfway participate in the vacation, which I've talked about in previous episodes. I would overwork myself. I would scramble. I just let my clients know that I'm closing for the first week of January and all the materials and everything like that will be refreshed, when they come back the week of January 8th. I'm not passing the buck with my clients. In this circumstance, the growth for me was to be able to make a change and then to experience very positively, actually, with all of my clients not being upset. I was pleasantly surprised. I got a text from my client Sasha inside of Perfectionism Leveraged, and she said, but seriously, thank you, because I was going through such a tough time professionally, personally, emotionally, physically, and your coaching elevates the hell out of me. So thank you. I screenshotted that. I put that into my own evidence file of awesomeness to have and to show brain, see all those things we thought about, they didn't happen. It's actually even better. This is where it's really, really important to celebrate it, to code that into yourself. All of this is hard for me. Not in a woe is me type way, but being a perfectionist in public is something that I thought was a deficit for a long time because I'm not perfect. I've gotten more comfortable with it. I used to judge myself because of my California accent that people would think that I'm stupid. It's so funny to laugh now, but for a long time, I just saw the other people that were out there and I thought, I'm not like them. And my coach at the time told me CLG, that's your superpower. And I was like, why is that a superpower? That's going to hold me back. I don't like being in the spotlight. I don't like the sound of my own voice. It used to take me literally at least 8 hours to go live on Instagram and Facebook. And I did that once a week for a year because practice makes permanent, and we're going to make it that you're not scared of anything. And that you're not going to let this hold you back from helping all the perfectionists that you can help. And the first one that you're going to help, CLG, is yourself. By doing this live, it doesn't matter how many times you mess up, you're doing it. What my coach told me is by you standing in your spotlight, your greatness, you're giving perfectionist high achievers, type A's, the permission and power to stand with you and in their own spotlight. And I was immediately yes. So now me talking to you about I wouldn't even call it a bad hire. I look at all things as it's the tuition I paid for that lesson. And who cares if you lose money? I'm getting stronger. You're getting stronger. So like, who cares? And I'm not being flippant about money, by the way. I'm just saying that like in the big scheme of things, when you think about it, I know that all of you that are listening to this are extraordinarily capable, extraordinarily capable. Yeah, it might suck in the meantime, but like, it's not as though I'm going to be living down on Ocean Avenue in a box. Like, not going to happen. I always remember that, like on the toughest days, like when this was happening, to think that like, okay, I'm going to be able to stand up, shine, and talk about it, not in a shamey way or here's how to prevent this so this never happens again. It's just like, yeah, mistakes happen, and it doesn't mean that you have bad judgment. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just means that like this happened. How do you want to move forward? How are you going to use it? I'm going to use this so that I now have a closer relationship with my clients. In my perfectionistic brain, it's like, oh, things can totally not go according to plan and not get done in the amount of time that you wanted them to be done at. And you can still enjoy the holidays with your family. Your business didn't go down the toilet. Like, it's all good. You know, we talk about being ready. It is not a feeling. It is a decision. It is a choice. You make the choice to be ready. My question to you is, why would you ever endure perfectionism when you can enjoy it instead? If you want to enjoy it, I'm here to help you do that. You can go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/services. This next episode will really help so that you can find your perfectionist power posse and stop questioning yourself. We're going to talk about your perfectionist power posse to find the people, the practitioners to midwife your dreams, your excellence, and champion the crap out of you. That's what I do for clients inside of Perfectionism Leveraged. And I just want you to know that you deserve nothing less.
Listen up. Taking charge of your perfectionism is so much easier than you have been led to believe. Whether you want to stop playing out worst case scenarios in your head or be joyfully present ambitious again, you don't need more rigid rules, guesswork, or hard work in perfectionism recovery. You need a framework that helps you understand and, most importantly, rewire your perfectionistic habits from the inside out. It starts with my 6-week Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator. Besides the obvious mental health and wellness benefits, rewiring your perfectionism is the fastest way to figure out what's really underneath your perfectionistic patterns. This radically different, proven, proprietary approach helps you succeed by dropping the contempt and judgment that blocks change. Discover how to trust yourself, take control of your world, and feel truly empowered to own your perfectionism instead of being owned by it. Head on over to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/accelerator and start your transformation today.